And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to our second broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings. Just wrapped up with the DreamHack Dallas replay cast. Now we're here with the STC Showmatch number 2. Again, shout out to the STC. He, of course, is an old school player. He did compete many years ago. He retired back in Heart of the Swarm, but he recently came back for StarCraft Evolution. Did recently come back, and he has been casting. He's been playing, to be fair, he's been playing a bit as well, but he has been mainly casting and organizing events, organizing show matches like this one. We have a best of 7 between ByuN and SHIN. Again, ByuN and SHIN, they are, I would say, the strongest and the best Zerg and Terran in StarCraft Evolution. I would have said that it would have been ByuN and Dark some time ago, but Dark, of course, did retire, so SHIN has kind of risen as the best Zerg player in StarCraft Evolution, and we'll see how it compares to ByuN. What I will say is that StarCraft Evolution right now is in a bit of flux. I do recommend checking out the latest podcast. We went over the latest patch notes. There is a proposed balance patch here that is meant to be upcoming, that's meant to address some certain aspects of StarCraft Evolution. But for now, though, we're jumping into our best of 7, into our ZVT. That's ready. Let's jump on in. Let's take a bit of a trip down memory lane back to pre, I should say, StarCraft 2 into Fighting Spirit for Game 1. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We're jumping in. As we commence our best of 7. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Fighting Spirit, we have the StarCraft 2 Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go, as we do have... Oh, God, no. They're always so chatty whenever I have these show matches. I imagine they're talking about the map. I imagine they're talking about the last time they played on Fighting Spirit, but I will try my best here to get my Google Translate out. I'll do my best. Do my best. Huh. ByuN, he's saying the first time I played on Fighting Spirit was when I was in my first year of school, and Shin's like, wow, you're old. And ByuN's like, yes, smurge, and they're laughing. But yes, Fighting Spirit is a very old map, and they're reminiscing about Fighting Spirit. Oh, has SHIN played on this map before? I think he's asking for a private lesson. yeah, SHIN, he's asking for a private lesson. And ByuN saying, I'm really good at Zerg. I'm actually really good. I think SHIN's saying there's no unit control. I think they're talking about Brood War. And ByuN saying mech is also pretty good. Okay. So there's some banter between the two players, but welcome nonetheless. Welcome to Fighting Spirit. We're going through Revac Stim here from ByuN. It's a very common build in StarCraft Evolution, very common, very powerful as well. Has been nerfed quite a bit over the past couple of months, but still a strong opener nonetheless, and can be quite difficult to deal with. Of course, welcome to Fighting Spirit. 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, and bottom right as well. So 4 possible spawn locations, and we are going to be hitting a very strong Stim timing. Waiting for the Academy, waiting for Stim. Then we can build up Marines, Firebats, and Medics. We'll see if SHIN can keep up. SHIN, so far, he's looking for his opponents. Once he realizes what's coming his way, there are a couple ways to defend, to respond to this. You can go into Ling Bane, or you can go for a Roche defense instead. So there are different avenues here available. As your loader does confirm, the bunker is aware of ByuN's location. Here we go. But again, the nostalgia is real. As the Marines are amassing. By now, we would have already seen the Academy, so a bit of a delayed Academy setup here from ByuN. Interesting. Building up more Marines first to make sure he's secure. There we go. The Academy is now on the way in the main. The Academy has been thrown down. Likewise, we're going for the Roach defense instead. Again, we have seen players defend with Ling Bane, but now we're going for the Roaches here. This does allow SHIN to actually counterattack, to muster up a defense, of course, and then to commit across the map instead. From here, there's the eBay for +1. Again, this is going to be a bit of a later timing here from ByuN. I should also emphasize the reason why this does hit so hard in Brood War or in StarCraft Evolution is because, hey, with the Academy, you can make medics, you can make fire bats as well. This sim timing hits even harder as you already have supportive units early on, whereas typically in StarCraft 2, you have to wait for the starport, right? You have to wait for the starport for medevacs. You have to wait for further tech to actually reinforce your army. Scan reveals the faster layer. Scan reveals the Roach defense. We have a safety spine cooler as well, and Roach production has begun here for SHIN. And we'll see if SHIN can pull this off, as here comes the army. Here comes ByuN. ByuN is going to be pushing. He does move out. As he moves out, SHIN, he's going to try to hold on. He does have 2 queens. He doesn't have a transfuse yet, but he soon will. Okay, it does have one. He has 2. Sorry, he has 2 transfuse. Roaches have arrived, and we can see ByuN being very respectful. He does spot the setup. He does respect it, does pull away. He's rotating over towards the 3rd. Here, there is no spine crawler. SHIN is keeping up with the rotation. He does spot it with the Overlord. So far, he's keeping up. Oh. ByuN does stim. Does rush in. Yeah, and Roaches are going to be targeted. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4. The Roaches are being targeted down. Yeah, brutal pickoffs here. No transfuse. No transfuse, queens are off of creep, and with that he breaks through. With that, I mean, you can see just how hard this does hit, even with Roaches, even with queens. SHIN, he will lose everything. The base is under fire. SHIN, he's waiting for reinforcements. He can still try to deal with this. As another Roach goes down. That's going to be how many? That's going to be 9 dead Roaches. 9 Roaches do fall. And with that is going to defend. Will deflect. Ooh, so again, SHIN, he does hold. Did lead out a lot of Roaches, but he does punish here. ByuN, he stuck around a little bit too long. Will lose his medics, and with that, SHIN does hold. ByuN back at home, switching into bio tank. Switching into mass bio. He does have tank production underway as well. Science facility in production as well for the science vessel. SHIN does break out. Behind this, he's droning, he's saturating, does hold his own 3rd base. Behind this, without tank defense, we could try to break through, but the tank does siege. Yeah, siege mode is researched. ByuN does hold. Scan reveals the tech, reveals the infestation bit as well. So ByuN confirms that SHIN is still taking up. Yeah, the tanks have arrived. ByuN holds. Slow a while, but ByuN, he does hold. Does zone away. Oh. Once again, punishing the Roaches. Does look to punish. And from here, we're building up. Now, Irradiates can be decent in this position. I say decent. Players have been getting better and better at countering Irradiate. For those that are curious, Irradiate is kind of like Parasitic Bomb, but it's a little bit more versatile, of course. In a sense, it only affects biological units. Bear that in mind. It doesn't affect mechanical. But Irradiate is a solid way to deal with clumps of humans like this. Now, the reason why I say it's similar is because, if you recall, Parasitic Bomb does persist after death. Irradiate does not. So, players have been getting a lot more better here if they do get irradiated to focus down and to kill their own units to deny the irradiate damage. So we'll see the counterplay as irradiate is complete. The vessel moves out. ByuN is set. ByuN, he is set up. Fungal goes off. Nice connection. Nice catch here on some of the Marines. Oh, the tanks do punish. ByuN in position. More vessels are on the way. ByuN does hold his ground. And SHIN is stuck just building up his own Ling Roach Ravager army. Baneling Nest is done. Baneling Speed is on the way. Just building up into Ling Bane. Is building up. Is tempted to dive in. Does land a fungal, but the tanks they do siege. And the tanks they will punish. Nice Miles. Very nice Miles. Takes down every single tank. Oh my god. Yeah, the bars are brutal. No Banelings though. That Banelings Marines they do stem in. They're going to be zoned away, and SHIN, he does hold on. Whew. Yeah, he does hold the line again. He caught the tanks just barely unsieged. Here comes the Irradiate. SHIN, he does split. Does split off. Does avoid that damage. So he pulls away. And he will sustain a bit of extra damage here, but there we go. Ravager does expire. Likewise does move in. We have the Ultra Cavern behind this. Taking up into Ultras. Spars are connecting. Oh, going for the Infestors. Yeah, nice targeting. As it will kill the Infestor. I think Irradiate will last long enough. Infestor goes down. Nice snipe. And ByuN does secure his third. Third base is secure. I see they said, how can I play this mod? The mod is available in the StarCraft 2 arcade. There is a beta version of the ladder, so they are working on a more on a matchmaking system and on a ladder version of this. But for now, you do have to find. Oh, I mean, the beta version is available. Otherwise, you can just find customs. I believe there is a Discord. There's a Discord where you can find other people to like play customs with. But the matchmaking system is still in the works. Still in its beta stages. ByuN is moving in. Ultra Tech has arrived. Once again, nice Fungal. Fungal does connect, does punish the Bio. Ooh, Irradiate here on the Infestors. Brutal connections on both Infestors. As SHIN does pull away. Infestors go down. Oh, the Biles though. The Biles, the Banelings. They connect, no splits. ByuN gets punished. And with that SHIN, he should break through. Yeah, he should break through here. The Irradiates have been okay, at least targeting the Infestors. From here, SHIN pushing on forward, breaks through the siege line. And should get on top of the expansion. Yeah, the Irradiate does last a long time. He's like, he shuts down his own Ling Bane. The Ultras are breaking through. Down to one Ultra. Does kite back. At the same time, Lings, they flood into the mineral line. Yeah, and SCVs are going down. Bearing in mind, there's no planetary here for ByuN. I mean, there isn't one available in Brood War. So SCVs are going down. Now, this was still an expensive trade, bearing in mind that SHIN did lose both Infestors and he lost both Ultras as well. So these were some expensive losses. SHIN behind this doesn't have the best drone count either. He's working towards 3-3. Does find a random base. Does not get down. And unfortunately, SHIN, he has no anti-air. So this science vessel count, has been building up over time. Just building up over time. More vessels. Does go for the Ravager. SHIN, he splits up. At the same time, Lings, they try to bust in they're not quite able to do so. ByuN is holding. ByuN is stabilizing. ByuN, he did take a brutal fight in the center of the map, but again, he is stabilizing here. Even irradiating the Overlord. Let's go. Behind the Spire is on the way. I mean, that should be for Corruptors. This is a very risky maneuver here. ByuN, he can go for mineral lines. He can try to find some damage. That also means that these aren't at home to defend. So no defensive irradiates. But he's fully walling up. You can see here, he's just fully walling up here. He's got his line of tanks. He's got a line of depots as well. Yeah, there we go. Does irradiate the mineral line. Going for the eraser. Does take down some drones. Oh no! Get the transfer. Not now. Does transfer at the same time. We're just pushing in. Yeah, we just commit here into the mineral line or into the tank line. Ultras are going down to one Ultra, and it's not going to be enough. Yeah, ByuN holds. He shuts down the Ultras. Apparently didn't need the vessels at home. Didn't need them. It was fine. He does hold. He's going for more mineral lines. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it does erase it once again. For those who are curious what's happening here, remember, Irradiate only does damage to biological, so you can target your own mechanical units like a dropship or like a science vessel, and you can just do AoE damage around you against the Zerg army. And does no damage to the mechanical units themselves, to the vessels. Likewise, oh, does catch the Infestor. And Shin's in trouble. Like, Shin, he bled out so much of his supply trying to break that siege line. It was not worth it. And the vessels, they just bully the Ultras. They tag both. They do tag the Ultras. And again, that's the ideal. As we mentioned, if you tag a Ling, for example, it dies quite quickly. It does waste the Irradiate. As Ultras are being punished, Irradiates here on the Infestors as well. And you can see also the importance of air control now against Brood War Terran, just because of the power of the science vessel. Like the importance of getting into Corruptors sooner. As we get another Irradiate. Finally, we have a couple of Corruptors. But these vessels, they pay for themselves. At this point, they pay for themselves. As ByuN is pushing through. Takes down the Banelings. The Ultra's barely alive. Pushing into a siege line. Oh, God, God. And the Ultras, they get punished. Again, we have 10 tech behind this. GG gets called, and ByuN here overwhelms. ByuN, he takes game number 1. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. With that, we do take game number 1. ByuN does take a lead in the series. See someone asking in the chat, are these games live? I wasn't paying attention. If you have a look at the title of the stream, it should say whether it is a replay cast or not. Typically, we do have that in the title, just for those that are curious. But here we go. We are getting into game number 2 here. Again, ByuN does take a lead in the series. We did see quite a back and forth between ByuN and Shin, but as we saw, Shin, he got outscaled as the game progressed. He had no good answer for those science vessels until the very end. So finally, we saw some Corruptors, but by then it was too little too late, and now we're getting into game number 2. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have our South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Here we go. Now settling in. Now, when it comes to ByuN's builds and what he typically goes for in StarCraft Evolution, there are 2 builds that he's quite fond of. One we just saw, 3x Stim, right? And we saw that didn't kill Shin, but it did kill 9 roaches, right? It killed 9 roaches, it forced a reaction, it did keep the worker count low for Shin as well. It looks like he's doing it again. Okay. Another build that he's quite fond of is double factory massive ultra, into mech, of course. So we might see that later on in the series. For now, 3x. Yep, 3x Stim here out of ByuN. A very strong timing here, going for the same build 2 games in a row. Now, ByuN, he will still expand. He will get it naturally, as he should, but this is going to be a later Stim timing. Into Bio, of course. Meanwhile, it's going to be a hatch pool opener out of Shin, going for delayed gases. Go. As gases are delayed here for Shin. Is it mass Reapers? This, you can't make Reapers. It's Stim timing. I see Pure Ghost in the chat. This is StarCraft Evolution. The Reapers don't exist. Reapers do not exist. As we mentioned, 3x Stim timing from the beginning. There's the Academy. Stim is on the way. Reapers don't exist. Oh, nice catch on the Overlord. True. He's playing Brood War. It must be Mass Reaper. But there's no expansion here. So this is a much more committed variation from ByuN. Much more committed. So we're still building up. SHIN still trying to confirm. Remember, the Overlord got sniped. As things are trying to confirm whether or not there's an expansion. Is being denied. So, I mean, nice now here from ByuN. SHIN, he doesn't know what's going on. For all he knows, there's an expansion. He's droning. Oh, no. He's droning up, and there's nothing to defend. And remember, it was a gasless opener. No ling speed, no roaches, no nothing. No, this is going to be a tough hold here for SHIN. Firebat has arrived. Now ByuN is expanding, in a very late expansion here for ByuN. In favor of the earlier timing. Medics have arrived. Firebat as well. And it's go time. Stim is almost done. Stim is almost complete. Now he gets spotted. And SHIN just droned. And SHIN, he just made a wave of drones. Roach drones on the way. And I'll be very impressed if SHIN can somehow defend this. We have a Spine Crawler, we have 3 Queens, and we have the boys. The problem is, what are we going to do? Pull the boys into a Firebat? That's not going to end well. 4 Queens. Okay, 4 Queens. There's no transfuse, there's no energy that we've been injecting. ByuN stims in. Boys are being pulled. And they're being pulled into the Firebat. Drone's getting roasted. And the Queens are being targeted. He gets 1. He gets 2. He's gonna get all 3. He's just gonna break through. Yeah, he just overwhelms. Again, SHIN, he had no idea it was gonna be a 1-base play. Remember, he was trying to scout. He didn't see the lack of expansion. And SHIN, he will lose everything. And ByuN, he will snowball into a win. He'll snowball into a win. Taking down all 4 Queens. And catching up the 5th Queen as well. GG gets called, and ByuN will take that 2-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. Spine is way too late. Just as a reminder for those that maybe missed out on the start of the game, this was basically a 1-base all-in, and if you remember, what was important about this game was not the late Spine, was not the late Roachhorn, was the fact that SHIN didn't scout. He tried to. Remember, the Overlord got sniped and the Lings were denied. SHIN was trying to scout whether or not there was a natural base. He assumed there was, but he was denied that scout, so he couldn't confirm. He could not confirm. That's why SHIN was droning. That's why SHIN was droning, and from there we're getting into game number 3, and we'll see if SHIN can recover in this series, as ByuN has a pretty hefty lead in this best of 7. Let's go. Let us go. As we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid, we have our South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg. Down in the series, we'll see if he bounce back, we'll see if he can recover. Representing Weibo Gaming, it is SHIN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Teal Terran player, we have the Brutal Terran. For Shopify, it is ByuN. The banter continues. I'll try to get the translations. I'll do my best. Huh. God, they're typing so much. I can't. I think ByuN said that he just tried to build that he's never done before, so he didn't know if it would work. And SHIN was like, okay, now I'm trying. Now I'm trying. Oh, are they talking about going mountain climbing? For those that are curious, SHIN did go mountain climbing with Creator and ByuN over the weekend. I think that might be what they're talking about, actually. Oh God, they just keep going. The problem is, okay. All right, SHIN's just saying it's losing 2 games in a row hurts. But the problem is that, like, when it comes, same build, by the way. Sorry, I say same build. This is the same build we saw in game 1, not the same build as last time. So this is going to be a faster CC going for 3x sim timing. But basically, with my Google Translate on my phone, because they keep scrolling up because they're typing so much, it removes the translate. So it's I can't translate back. They're talking too much. Oh no. But yes, ByuN is going for another sim timing. As I mentioned before, this is just a really strong build currently in StarCraft Evolution, just a really, really strong way to open up. This doesn't kill, as we saw in game 1, right? It didn't kill SHIN. SHIN was able to defend, he was able to stabilize into a longer game state, but welcome to Sylphid, a 3-player spawn map. We can see SHIN, he's searching for his opponent, he does find ByuN's spawn location, and again, we're building up towards that sim timing, but this is going to be a later timing by ByuN. But once again, it hits with medics and it hits with fire bats. The prerequisite to make a medic and to make a fire bat is the academy. So the academy is on the way to gain access to that tech. That's why this does hit faster and does hit harder than in StarCraft 2. Here we go. Here we go. As we are building up. But yes, I guess we'll be talking about it during the podcast, but typically ByuN and Creator, they go mountain climbing, like over the weekends, and they posted a picture a couple of days ago with SHIN in the mountains as well. So he went with them. And I think they were discussing that, actually. They were touching grass. Crazy. As SHIN, he is going for a Baneliness defense instead. We mentioned this previously, but you can defend against this with Roaches or with Banelings. Like, both are viable, both are available. SHIN, he hasn't confirmed the builds, but with ByuN, you can assume, right? Like, it's a safe assumption that we're going for this kind of build and this kind of style. Yeah, Blings are amassing, and we'll see if SHIN can hold. We'll see if he can defend. He's setting up back at home. This A player here with Lings too early for the 3x push to get enough biomounts. If you're talking about a more aggressive kind of style, I think I saw 3-Point do that. I believe 3-Point, I think he might have done that against Brathos, maybe. Oh, for now, SHIN chasing this off of creep. Nice kiting here from ByuN. But again, he's just buying time for his Banelings. And with his help with the Banelings, he should hold. Like, with that SHIN, he can now drone. There we go, 8 drones are on the way. He can saturate, and now we can head into a longer game state. So we're getting into a longer game. ByuN, he throws down 2 more Raxes, getting to a 5-rack setup, working towards 2, 3, 8 shells, and getting into the mid game. ByuN, he rotates, he's checking for the 3rd. He has yet to confirm its location. Now he is aware. Keeping it with SHIN. SHIN does go in for the surround. Oh, doesn't quite lock it down though. Yeah, doesn't quite get the surround it was hoping for. SHIN gets punished. Was close. Was clutch. SHIN pulling away. Again, dancing on the edge of creep. There's a scan. Oof, SHIN doesn't quite get what he wanted. Again, ideally, he's waiting for ByuN to overextend onto creep and then surround. That's what he's hoping for at least, but ByuN being careful, he does stay on the edge, does pull back, takes down the tumor, backs off. So nice snipe there from ByuN. Behind this, layer is on the way. SHIN, saturating on 3 bases, is droning. He's droning up. ByuN, he does rotate towards the left-hand side. Marines a catch out a queen. Let's catch it from ByuN. Nice catch. ByuN still just rallying everything across the map. Remember, we did bring up the fact that he went up to 5 Raxes. He's not expanding. Oh, sorry, he is expanding. A bit of a later 3rd. Still just applying so much pressure, though. Denying so much creep. Again, there's only 2 active tumors here. There's barely any creep here for SHIN. Bathing speed about to kick in. Can he dive on top of the tank in time? It's going to be close. The tank will siege. The tank does siege up. SHIN coming in from a bit of an awkward angle. Does come in from behind. Yeah, it does get the surround. It does collapse on the army. It cleans up everything. Yeah, Marines, they get swallowed up. Tank goes down, and Shin holds. Whew. Shin, he does hold on. Again, just really patient play from Shin. And ByuN was so dedicated. Remember, ByuN, his third base is late. It's a late third base. Tank gets caught as well. The tank should be caught. Okay, we're good. Tank is surrounded. Third base on the way, but there's not really much to defend. And Shin, he shouldn't let this third base get up and running, not too freely. But now Shin is droning. Shin, he pulls away for the time being. Waiting for 1-1 upgrades. Third base is getting up. Shin, he does not see the third base yet. He's not fully aware. For all he knows, it was a 2-base all-in. And now ByuN is securing himself. And now ByuN is getting set up. This is dangerous. Like, Shin, he had a really good fight, but he didn't punish the third. He didn't contain ByuN. He could have. And now I'm not much more concerned here for Shin. Oh, he's aware. Gonna try to engage. Again, pushing up the ramp into this kind of army, it's gonna be difficult. Shin is back and he's droning. He's droning, he's taking him into Hydras, Infestation Bits on the way, into Hive, into Lingbane, Hydra Viper, I would imagine. I'd imagine that's the goal here for Shin. We'll see if he can get there. And we'll see if it's too late. ByuN throwing down his factories. We do have vessel production underway. Radiate hasn't been resourced yet. Not quite there yet. But we're getting there. And here comes the Hive. That's catching the army. I would say that we're about to find out. I mean, Shin might find out the hard way, actually. When it comes to spellcasters, when it comes to Vipers and Infestors, they do feel a little bit less viable or just a little bit less impactful here against Brutal or Terran, just because of how the Irradiate works. Like we saw in Game 1, how ByuN was able to punish and shut down every single Infestor. Whenever they showed up, bam, Irradiates. It feels like a similar dynamic could be the case with Vipers as well. Now, the one thing that I will say is that thankfully this time Shin, because he's going into Hydras, he will have anti-air. Remember, in Game 1, he went Ultra, not Hydra. And he was very late when it came to his Corruptor production. So he will have more anti-air, which means he could abduct, true. He could abduct the vessels into Hydras. He can collapse in. He has a little bit more to work with. Assuming we're going into Viper production, which I feel like should be the case. Yeah, there we go. Vipers are on the way. And we'll see if he's able to abduct. We'll see if ByuN's able to irradiate. It's very similar to ZvZ, actually. If you're familiar with late game ZvZ, you would know that it's like 15 Vipers versus 15 Vipers, and you're just like mass blinding, sorry, you're mass parasite bombing and abducting each other. It turns into Viper versus Viper. It could be similar here with Vessel versus Viper as well. Could be similar. Ooh, as the tank's getting caught on siege, not bad. They're getting 1, 2, 3 tanks. 3 tanks go down. Oh, but he's pushing into a siege line. Yeah, this is not it. Nice kiting here. The siege line does punish. Lings are coming from behind. They get 1 more tank. But just the one. And again, ByuN, this was brutal here. Shin has to back off. He bleeds out a lot of supply. Has to retreat. Now taking into Ultras. Vipers are amassing. Again, Vipers, they're a key part missing here for Shin, where you can blind and clap the tanks. Without Vipers, though, it's going to be difficult. Vipers are moving in. No blinding cloud. Yeah, 1, 2 blinding clouds. Nicely done. Where are the vessels? Yes, tanks are falling. And do we have any? Wait, 0? Wait, what? Never mind. He didn't really get into mass vessel production and no radiate either. Now with that, ByuN is breaking. Sorry, SHIN is breaking through. SHIN gets it up with the tanks. It does run out of steam towards the end, but still a better trade here for SHIN. Rotates over. And he does bleed out some Vipers down to 1. 1 Viper left. I'm hoping that SHIN does keep replenishing. I do hope that's the case. As ByuN is being active, there's no other Vipers in production. So 1 Viper, that's all we have. SHIN, get out of here. ByuN moving in. The almost getting caught out. Yeah, almost. So far, ByuN does hold the line. Turns away the army. SHIN coming in from behind, gets 1 tank. Gets the 1. It's okay damage, but again, SHIN, he's kind of abandoned the idea of going into Vipers, which is concerning. Like, remember, there's no EMPs, there's no radiates, there's no nothing out of ByuN. Vipers, they can have free reign. They could. Things are trickling in. Gets 3 more tanks, not bad. Okay. ByuN does overextend. His tank line is thinned out. The Ultra does bust through. I mean, true. I mean, okay, if there are no radiates, like, the Ultras are that much more effective. Still a little bit messy. And SHIN just doubling down, just going mass Ultra. Just making more Ultras at this point. SHIN just trying to brute force the issue. Trying to chase the army off of creep is not going to work out well. Again, the tanks, they hit this so hard. They punished the Ultra so hard. And ByuN, he's recovering. He's recovering here. Ultras are going down, Lings as well. Yeah, just some really rough fights here from SHIN. He will lose the expansion, he has to back off. And ByuN, he's doing it. There was some nice moments here for SHIN. Like, he had some impressive fights. I do feel like it was a little bit too greedy though to stop Viper production. Oh, does get a couple of tanks. Does get 1. 1 tank goes down. Yo, big shout out to Comecieto in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for 5 months. For 2 months in a row. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. As Ultras are building up. There we go. We have a Viper on the way. Let's go. It's getting a Viper. Likewise, does find a bunch of unsiege tanks. Does get 1, does get 2. Tanks are going down. Bailey's they crash in as well. Oh, but SHIN does overextend. They're bleeding out so many Ultras. And now is the time to counterattack. ByuN, he's moving in. He's moving in at this point. He's pushing on through. And SHIN has got 1 last fight in him. Can he get on top of the rings? He cannot. Nah, no shot. Cannot get on top of the rings. Another base goes down. And again, SHIN, he had some nice moments. I want to say he was even ahead in certain parts of this game, but there were a couple of key moments where he didn't take advantage. I'm referring to when SHIN initially shut down the first army, and SHIN didn't deny the third, and he didn't contain ByuN on 2 bases. That was one moment. The other one, of course, was after his first fight with his Vipers. After losing them, he never replenished, right? He never rebuilt until now. He made 1 Viper, but he had a really hard time breaking these siege lines. Now we have the Blinding Cloud. Does cover 3 tanks, but those are the only Blinding Clouds. Yeah, that was the only one he had. Because he only had 1 Viper. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take a 3-0 lead in the series. GG. Oh, GG, well played. And again, Shin, he had a really strong start. I want to say that I favored Shin in the first half of this game, but again, it does feel like he tunnel vision a little bit too much, or maybe he got a little bit too overconfident, a little bit too overeager. And he just doubled down when it comes to Mass Ultra, and it just was not as effective here. Might be thinking, oh, there are no ghosts. But we don't need ghosts. We got tank lines, papi. Yeah. Where we're going, we don't need ghosts, papi. And with that, ByuN does extend his lead even further, and ByuN is one game away from claiming the series, from claiming this best of 7. Shin has been having a really hard time keeping up here, and now we're going to be loading into Blue Storm. Oh boy. One of the smaller maps in the map, or one of the more aggressive maps instead. Which means, yo, that 3x stim can hit even harder. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner, on top right hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the blue Zurich player, the South Korean Zurich, representing Weibo Gaming, down heavily in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion, we have the Brood War Terran. It is ByuN. We go. And welcome to Blue Storm. Blue Storm is one of the smaller maps in the map, all short rushes and spy ground. Now there are some defensive features here, like this very narrow choke point coming to the natural, so you can muster up a defense. You can also knock down these towers and wall this area off, so there are ways to be more defensive. Ways to be more defensive here, but we'll see how Shin will approach this. We'll see. It's been a rough series so far, a very rough series. As ByuN for the first time, racks expand. Okay. But I can already feel the additional racks is on the way. We'll keep an eye on ByuN. Shin going hatch a pool, delayed gases out of Shin. Okay. Does go for a delayed gas opener. Is being quite greedy. And we'll see how ByuN does open up. There we go. Where there's a second rack. So he should be going for another 3x stim timing, or 3x stim opener into a timing attack. And it's going to hit even harder, specifically on Blue Storm. Just because the rush distance by ground is even shorter, and of course you can make use of this position, going for the bunker rush. Ay. Bunker is on the way, does force out spine crawlers, Marines are rallying across the map. And I believe the bunker should be within range of the hatchery. Okay. Now this is delaying mining at the natural, this is forcing out a spine crawler, this is already doing damage. This doesn't have to kill, as we mentioned, like this is already doing inadvertent economic damage to Shin. Okay, as the bunker is not within range of the hatchery, is within range of the queen, so it has to back up. Oh. Workers being forced away. More Marines are building up, and this bunker should be dealt with. Spine crawler edging closer. Behind this, the academy's on the way. Again, that's going to be for stim. Ooh, almost does get a drone. Almost. As the spine crawler will hold the line. Oh. Shin does hard down the SCV, not bad. SCV goes down, bunker is broken, and Shin, he will deflect. Does get a Marine. Shouldn't have happened, so a bit of miscontrol there by ByuN. Does be that one Marine, and every Marine counts because here comes that stim timing. Actually, never mind. What? Okay. A bit of a misclick. I don't know if you saw, but we had 2, 3, 8 shells on the way for a moment there. Does cancel, does start stim, so a little bit shaky there from ByuN. Meanwhile, we just see Shin going for a Baneling defense. Okay. Building up into Lingbane. We'll see if he can pull this off. It's going to be a close one. As ByuN is already pushing. Yo, I appreciate the brutal OST every time. Every time. As Stim is almost done. It's done in 10 seconds. Diving on the third. Bailey Nest is not yet done. Without Bailings, I don't really see these Lings engaging too successfully. Gets a queen, gets one, gets two. Oh, the fire bat is going to go down. A nice pick up. But the spine crawler does fall as well. ByuN, he's rallying. But SHIN, he should hold. Like, he should not lose the natural. And he should save the third. As Bailings are morphing in. Bailings are morphing in. The hatchery's under fire. Can SHIN surround this? It's going to be close. As the hatchery is so very low, yeah, he will surround. Yeah, he looks down the army. Oh, the target fire. Oh my god. Yeah, nice target firing, but alas, is going to be surrounded. And SHIN, he will barely save the expansion. It got so very low. But the hatchery gets saved. And SHIN survives. Back at home, we do have a bunker to defend. We have some Sim City. SHIN, we'll see what he can get done here. Does go for the surround. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Nice repair. ByuN holds. Yeah, he does hold. Yeah, siege mode being researched. We have 238 shells. Getting to the zone. Bio tank once again. So ByuN tank set up here by ByuN. At least SHIN was able to survive and save the base. And we have a game. We have a game. We're getting into the mid game here. SHIN, he holds, he saves the expansion. We're going to be able to join up, get into the mid game, get into lair tech, and likewise ByuN looking to do something similar. ByuN is being active. Being active. Likewise, moving out. He does have his tanks in a decent position. He does actually punish the mineral line, but he doesn't really have much to protect said tanks. Instead, SHIN going for a counterattack. There are reinforcements back at home. There's a bunker as well. Oh, ByuN getting into the mineral line. 8 drone kills. Oh, god. This is getting more damage than it should have. SHIN, he will collapse in. He will clean this up. That's still 9 workers going down. Gets a queen. And even more drone kills. Lings, they collapse in. Gets a second queen. And 10 drones. And from here, ByuN's going to be cleaned up. He goes back in. Oh my god. 2 more. 12 drones. 12 drones go down. ByuN, he pulls away within tank range. Here come the reinforcements. Here comes the rally. And SHIN just having a really hard time engaging with this tank, with this position. Once again, Ling counterattack. Just try to set up the surround. Heads towards the third, okay. Third base for ByuN is late, and it may just be cancelled. And nice pickup here by SHIN. Does force a cancel, massive pickup. ByuN pushing forward, once again into the mineral line. Once again, just focusing on as many drones as he can. 7 more drone kills. Marines are in position. Lings, they take on the tank on the high ground, but only the one tank. And the others are saved. But ByuN needs a third. Does need that third expansion. Like, he's doing nice damage, which is good and all, but alas, you know, SHIN, he has another expansion on the way, getting a 4th. Oh. ByuN locking himself in with his opponent. Bold move. Or maybe set up tobacco. No, he is locking himself in. Okay. He's locked in, back. Let's go. Now, was this the wise choice? Because this also means there's no way out of this. I mean, he does have the medic on hold position within range of the lair. Oh. The lair's under fire. It's going to go down. ByuN's getting a third base. Means they focus on the expansion. SHIN, I think he's going to try to surround, but he little does he know. Yeah, the lair goes down. SHIN, he attempts to surround, realizes, oh, the rock's got knocked down. Uh-oh. And he cannot engage. He cannot engage. From here, ByuN could try to snipe the upgrades. Could go for them. Back at home, there are plenty of reinforcements. Radiate has not been researched. That might just be an oversight from ByuN. As ByuN does hold back at home. He finally expands. SHIN does save some of his drones and is able to saturate on 3 bases. ByuN is building up his armory. Securing his third base. Oh, let's break in. Try to break in. Likewise, still no radius. I'm still concerned about the vessel, not gonna lie. As he can't get much done. I don't think ByuN knows that. I hope he realizes. As SHIN is just mass expanding, rebuilding his lair, taking more bases. ByuN isn't really punishing anything. SHIN is massing up. Scanning for looking for other armies. Based on the high vessel count here, I think ByuN has forgotten. I'll be honest. I don't think he's really realized what's happening here. I'm still waiting for him to try to irradiate and realize that he can't. SHIN collapsing in. Oh, True has defensive matrix. Okay, True. And we just ignore it. Goes to the surround. Oh, no! Bailey's gonna crash in. Shuts down the ByuN army. And with that, ByuN, he will lose everything. The Marines, they go down. The tanks go down as well. The science vessels, again, no irradiates. Just defensive matrix. That's the only spell. That's all he's got. Which is less than ideal. As ByuN, he's just stuck at home, stuck turtling. The vessel's just there for more support. Yes, just like... Again, that's a lot of energy that's not doing anything. I mean, he can't. There it is. There, yeah, now he knows. He's like, all right, I need to research it. Ah, there we go. Radiate's on the way. He throws down some defense matrix just to do something. So unfortunately, did forget about irradiate. It is a spell that you have to upgrade first before being able to use it. I'm sure even SHIN's like, why didn't he radiate me? What's going on? It's a good question. So SHIN is in this game. He's in this. ByuN likewise trying to break out. Again, the center of the map here is just so open. Was cancelled. Doesn't like the expansion. ByuN slowly just pushing forward. Making his way towards the natural. Once again, just making use of this choke point. Likewise, Shin looking to try to engage outside here out in the open. These tanks, they're looking quite exposed. It's a high tank count, but the bio isn't there. Army gets spotted. And does head straight for the natural. Yeah, Radiant's not ready. Bailey's getting caught out instead. Up! They try to connect. Defense Matrix, let's go, try to tank. Not quite able to though. Yeah, tanks are getting exposed. Nice kiting. Oof. Decent follow-up, no follow-up. ByuN holds. ByuN, he holds the line. Again, they just barely were enough Bailings. I love the idea of going for the defense matrix and trying to bait out Bailings. Didn't quite work out, but I like the idea. I want to say I've seen that done in Brutal before against lurkers. Ooh, as he does get him in our line. Nice catch, very nice catch. 10 drone kills. Ooh, ByuN does overextend. Likewise, Shin, he has a secure economy for the most part, but ByuN, he's just wedging himself in between the bases. Vipers have finally arrived. Nice flying cloud. Remember, no medevacs, no way to drop out. Does finally get some irradiates going off. Yeah, but GG gets called. He still takes the fight, still overwhelms, and ByuN, he will still break through, even with half the game not having irradiate. And ByuN, he'll take the series. He'll take the series 4-0. GG. GG, well played. He will claim the series here. But it looks like the players may have agreed to play out more matches. We'll have to double check. Oh, no. With that GG well played. ByuN, he does claim the series 4-0. Again, a dominant showing here out of ByuN. Shin, he had some good moments. I'm bringing it back to Sylphid. Remember, Sylphid, I feel like was Shin's game to lose. Like, Shin, he had a really strong start. He was containing ByuN on 2 bases, or at least he was looking to, but then he didn't, right? He had map control, he had the army, but Shin backed off, and he allowed ByuN to get away with a third, despite not having any tanks. He had no tanks, he had a very, very small army on the map, or really to defend back at home, and Shin didn't press his advantage. With that, ByuN, he stabilized on Sylphid. Likewise, you saw that despite that, Shin, he had a really good fight, but remember, he was staying on a very low Viper count, and he got punished for it. He was trying to go into Mass Ultra, and he was just being shut down time and time again by the tank count, and GG well played. I do think that, despite that, the games were intense, they were back and forth, but ByuN does come out with the win. GG well played. With that, he does overwhelm, and congratulations, ByuN will claim the series. Shout out to Shin, of course, for taking part and for posing a threat to ByuN in some of these games. Even here in this game as well, we had some unique, a more unique back and forth here, with ByuN forgetting a radiate, with ByuN getting caught out in the open as well. So there was some nice moments here from Shin, but overall, ByuN just abusing that area outside of the natural, with those tanks, with that positioning. GG well played. Congratulations, ByuN will claim it. Congratulations. Here we go. And with that, we're wrapping up. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the day. So I should say for the morning. Today is going to be a little bit different than usual, as we can switch our teams over and catch up on the bracket. Oh, sorry, on our schedule here. We just wrapped up with our morning schedule, with our morning broadcast of the DreamHack Dallas replay cast. And later on tonight is the Wardy TV Monday Tuesday edition. Again, Wardy was traveling back from Germany, back from Home Story Cup. That's why Wardy could not run the Wardy TV Monday last night, so it has been rescheduled to tonight instead. So later on tonight, in around 8 hours time, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday on Tuesday instead. We have the Bigger Story Cup, we have the Pondcast, we have some Home Story Cup replay coverage on Thursday and Friday, and we have the Fusion Esports League qualifiers over the weekend as well. So a very busy weekend, very busy week here, as always, on the CranKy Ducklings. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft, plenty on the horizon. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. GG well played. Oh, that checkpoint is ruthless. It is ruthless. Who is catching who in this situation? There were some shaky moments for sure. But GG well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here, and yeah, take care, everyone. Take care. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Hope you have a lovely rest of your week as well. Gonna be heading off. Gonna be getting some rest. Gonna try to get a nap, and gonna try to get ready here for tonight's broadcast. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.